Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen and enjoy my stories every day. The day started like any other. The sun peeked through the blinds, casting slanted shadows across the hardwood floor of our bedroom. I lay beside Jill, watching the steady rise and fall of her chest as she slept. It was peaceful moments like these that I cherished most, oblivious to the storm that was about to break. I rose quietly, my feet touching the cool floor, and tiptoed around our room, gathering my things for work. As I reached for my wallet on the dresser, I noticed Jill's purse slightly ajar. A glint of something unusual caught my eye, an old, worn photo peeking out. Curiosity overcame me, and I gently pulled it from the cluttered contents of her bag. It was a picture of my brother, Michael, his arms slung around Jill in a way that was too familiar, too intimate. My heart pounded in my chest as I flipped the photo over. The words, "Love you," were scribbled on the back in Jill's unmistakable handwriting. The room seemed to spin as the implication of those words sank in. Michael and Jill. It couldn't be. Looking for something? Jill's voice, sharp and alert, sliced through the silence. I spun around, the photo still clutched in my hand. "What is this, Jill?" I demanded, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside me. She sat up, the sheets pooling around her waist. Her eyes, usually so warm and open, narrowed slightly as she took in the scene. "It's just an old photo, Tom. Don't be dramatic." "Old? This looks recent. And why write 'love you' on a photo to my brother?" The words tasted bitter as they left my lips. Jill sighed, swinging her legs over the side of the bed and standing to face me. She reached for the photo, but I pulled back. "It's nothing, Tom. You're reading too much into it." "Am I?" I countered, feeling the edges of the photo crinkle under my grip. "Is that why you keep it in your purse? Because it means nothing?" She hesitated, her gaze flickering to the floor before meeting mine again. "Tom, let's not do this now. You're upset, and you're not thinking clearly. We'll talk when you get back from work." But I couldn't let it go. Not this time. The evidence was clear, and her evasiveness only confirmed my suspicions. "No, we'll talk now, Jill. Start explaining." The conversation that followed was a blur of accusations and denials. Jill's calm demeanor gradually crumbled under the weight of my relentless questions. She confessed to seeing Michael over the past few months. It started innocently, she claimed, but feelings developed, and they couldn't stop themselves. I listened, each word a serrated blade gutting me from the inside. Betrayed by my wife and brother, the two people I trusted most. A bitter laugh escaped my lips as I realized the cruel joke my life had become. The rest of the day was a cascade of decisions, angry calls, a confrontation with Michael, and the inevitable outcome: I would not stand for betrayal. "I want a divorce, Jill," I stated coldly as we stood in the very heart of our home, a place now tainted with the stench of deceit. She nodded, her face pale, her eyes not meeting mine. "If that's what you want, Tom. I'm sorry it came to this." "Sorry?" The word was a hollow echo in the now barren space between us. As I walked out, leaving her standing amidst the shards of our shattered life, a plan began to form. Jill had taken the life we built together, and in return, I would dismantle hers. Piece by piece. The revenge would be precise, cold, and calculated. I would make sure of that. And as for Michael, he would not escape my wrath. They both would learn the cost of betrayal. The door closed behind me with a final click, a sound that marked the end of our life together and the beginning of my crusade for retribution. The intrigue of our entangled lives was about to unravel, and I was ready to pull every string. The cool air bites at my skin as I step out into the street, my mind racing with each step. The day's revelations weigh heavily on me, but there's no time to dwell. My first move is clear: I need to confront Michael. I dial his number, my fingers stiff with a mix of anger and dread. He picks up on the third ring. "Tom." What's up, man? Where are you? My voice is ice, cutting through the pleasantries he expects. A pause, then, at the cafe near your office. Why? I'm coming over. We need to talk. Now. I don't wait for his response, ending the call with a decisive click. The cafe is a 15-minute walk from our apartment, a walk I've done countless times under much different circumstances. Today, each step is fueled by a volatile mix of fury and betrayal. I spot him the moment I enter, lounging at a table with a coffee, looking every bit the carefree younger brother I thought I knew. His smile fades as he catches sight of my stormy expression. Tom, what's? Save it, Michael. I drop into the chair opposite him, my hands clenched on the table. I found the photo, and Jill told me everything. His face pales, guilt flashing in his eyes before he masks it with confusion. Photo? Tom, I think you're misunderstanding. Cut the crap, Michael. How long? I lean forward, my voice a harsh whisper. It's not like that. It just happened. Michael's voice is a mix of resignation and plea. It wasn't planned. We were just. Stop. I slam my hand on the table, drawing stares from nearby patrons. I trusted you. She was my wife, your sister-in-law. He rubs his forehead, looking away. I know, Tom. I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you. Sorry doesn't fix this. My voice is steely as I stand, towering over him. You'll stay away from both of us. If I see you near Jill or hear you've contacted her, the next conversation we have will be through lawyers. Leaving Michael stunned and silent, I stride out of the cafe, the chill in my bones now matched by the frost in my veins. The confrontation, though bitter, clarifies my next steps. It's not just about separation, it's about ensuring Jill and Michael feel the full consequence of their actions. Back at the apartment, I begin the meticulous process of separation, bank accounts, credit cards, all the threads of our intertwined lives I start to untangle. Each action is methodical, a strike in the quiet war I wage. I document everything, every shared asset, every financial statement. My phone buzzes incessantly. Texts, calls, Jill's pleas for a conversation I'm not ready to have. The phone rings again, this time a number I don't recognize. I answer, wary. Is this Tom? The voice is unfamiliar, cautious. Yes. Who's asking? My name's Aaron. I think we need to talk. It's about Jill and. I think you might not know the whole story. Aaron? Who are you? Let's just say I've been in your shoes. Can we meet? I hesitate, the intrigue pulling at my resolve. All right. Where? Riverside Park, by the statue. 30 minutes. Okay. I hang up, a new layer of determination settling over me. If there's more to uncover, I'll dig it out, use it. Whatever it takes to ensure justice is served. As I head towards the park, the last rays of sunlight dip below the horizon, mirroring the dark turn my life has taken. But as night falls, my resolve only strengthens. I'm ready to face whatever comes next, ready to fight back in the shadows if need be. This is just the beginning, and I'm nowhere near finished. The park is quiet, the usual chatter and laughter of the day replaced by the subtle rustling of leaves and distant city noises. The statue of the city's founder, a figure of resilience, stands solemnly against the backdrop of the setting sun. I arrive a few minutes early, the dim light casting long shadows that seem to echo the darkness settling in my heart. I spot Aaron leaning against the base of the statue, a tall figure cloaked in a nondescript jacket and hat. As I approach, he straightens, his stance wary but open. Tom. His voice is low, almost lost in the breeze. Yes, Aaron. I extend a hand tentatively, still unsure of his intentions. He shakes my hand firmly. Thanks for meeting me. I know you must be wondering why a stranger contacted you. I am. You said you've been in my shoes. I probe, my eyes scanning his face for any sign of deceit. Aaron nods, glancing around before continuing. About 2 years ago, I was married to a woman who worked with Jill. Same story as yours, brother. Betrayal, lies, it's all too familiar. I feel a chill that has nothing to do with the evening air. And Jill was involved? Not directly. But there's a pattern. My ex-wife, she was part of something bigger, a kind of group. They cover for each other, create alibis, help each other out. Aaron's eyes meet mine, intense and earnest. A group? My confusion grows. This was more convoluted and sinister than I'd imagined. Yes. I stumbled upon it by accident. Meetings, secret gatherings. My wife slipped up with her schedule once, and I followed her. They meet up to discuss tactics, share partners. It's sick. The revelation hits me like a physical blow. Jill, part of a group. My mind races, piecing together her late nights, the whispered phone calls, the gaps in her stories. And you think Jill is a part of this? Aaron nods. I do. After my divorce, I started digging, trying to understand how deep this went. When I saw your story unfold, I recognized the pattern. Anger and betrayal surge within me, fueling a growing resolve. Do you have proof of this? Some. It's not concrete, but it's something. Texts, emails. They're careful, but not careful enough. Aaron pulls out his phone, showing me a string of messages with vague, coded language that now takes on a new, sinister meaning. I take a deep breath, my mind working overtime. What do you suggest we do? Expose them. Take everything we find to a lawyer, get the authorities involved if we can prove something illegal. Aaron's proposal is radical, but the seed of retribution plants itself firmly in my thoughts. And Jill, she'll be involved in this exposure? My voice is steady, masking the turmoil inside. If she's part of it, yes. Aaron's response is uncompromising. We agree to dig deeper, to meet regularly and share information. As we part ways, the weight of the task ahead looms large, but so does the determination to see justice done. I head home, the shadows of the night echoing the darkness of the plot I'm unraveling. Jill and her secrets, once shared in whispers, will soon be shouted from the rooftops. I'm committed, irrevocably, to tearing down the facade she's built. No matter the cost, the truth will come to light. Night falls like a curtain over the city, dark and unforgiving, as I make my way to the final meeting. The weight of the coming confrontation presses down on me, each step heavier than the last. My mind is a whirlwind of planning, scenarios flicking through like the pages of a thriller, each more drastic than the last. Tonight, it ends, one way or another. The warehouse where the group meets is on the outskirts of the city, an abandoned relic from a more prosperous time. It stands alone, surrounded by empty lots, the perfect place for secrets to fester. I park my car in the shadows and approach on foot, the file containing all the gathered evidence secure under my arm. Inside, the murmur of voices halts as I enter. Dim light bulbs hang from the ceiling, casting more shadows than light. Figures turn, recognizing me, surprise etched on their faces. Tom, what are you doing here? Jill's voice cuts through the murmur, her figure stepping out from the group. She looks different now, wary and defensive. I could ask you the same, I reply, my voice calm but carrying across the silent space. I raise the file. But I think we all know why we're all here. Confusion and whispers ripple through the group. I spot Aaron at the back, he nods slightly, a silent ally in this den of traitors. Jill takes a step forward. Tom, let's talk about this outside. No, I snap, sharper than I intend. We'll talk here, in front of your friends. They should know what kind of person they're really dealing with. I start to distribute the copies of texts, emails, photos, every piece of damning evidence Aaron and I collected. Faces blanch as the reality of exposure sets in. "You ruined us, Tom," a voice shouts from the crowd, angry and scared. "I didn't ruin you," I shoot back, my voice rising. "You did that yourselves when you decided to lie and cheat." Jill's face is a mask of desperation as she tries to intercept the papers, but it's too late. The group is in disarray, some defensive, others just shocked. "Why, Jill?" My question is a dagger, thrown in the tense silence. She hesitates, then her shoulders slump, defeated. "I was bored, Tom. We were happy, but it wasn't exciting anymore. This was just a game." "A game?" The word is a hiss, my vision tinting red with betrayal. "Our marriage was a game to you." As the argument escalates, the group begins to take sides, the air charged with tension and imminent violence. I feel detached, watching the scene unfold as if from afar, the culmination of weeks of deception breaking the surface. The confrontation reaches a peak when one of the group members, driven by rage or fear, lunges toward me. Instinctively, I step aside, and he stumbles, crashing into Jill. They fall, a tangle of limbs, and in a tragic twist, a sharp cry pierces the air. Jill doesn't get up. The room freezes, time stopping as the realization dawns. An accidental push, a tragic fall, and suddenly, the game is fatally real. Emergency services arrive too late. Jill is pronounced dead at the scene, her neck broken in the fall. The group is disbanded, some arrested, others just broken by the night's revelations. I stand outside, the cold air numbing my face, barely processing the police officer's questions. It's over. The betrayal, the revenge, it's all over, but at such a cost. As I walk away from the warehouse, the early morning light does nothing to warm me. Jill's last words echo in my mind, a haunting melody of regret. I realize then that the price of my ruthless pursuit of justice was not just her life, but the remnants of what had once been my own. The dawn is bleak, and I am alone, the hatred of betrayal burning coldly in a heart too numb to feel. I have won, but it feels nothing like victory.